Okay, we'll go ahead and get started with our questions. Scott, Richie, you can start us off.
Hey, Kofi. I guess I was just curious, what went into your decision-making process, when you were, choosing between coming back or, maybe staying in the draft?
That was all about making the right decision for me and my family. Over the years, since I've been in the U.S., going to the NBA has been a big goal for me. And just weighing my options, making sure I'm making the right decisions, making sure I'm not rushing things, consulting with my family, coaches, getting good feedback. So it was a little bit of everything. So it was getting good feedback, trying to hear the right things from the teams, seeing what I got to work on, seeing weighing my options, seeing what's a better option to go right now. We'll come back for another year. So it was a lot of things that had to do with that option, that decision.
Okay. And I know you went back home for a time before you made your decision. Just what made you decide maybe you needed to do that? Was it just the place where you felt maybe you needed to make the decision from?
Yeah, I just needed to be home, be around my mom, my brother, the people that really cared about me, listen to what they have to tell me. My brother has been he has played a huge role in me coming to the U.S. and playing basketball on a whole. And just listening to him, seeing what he has to say about it, talking to my mom about it, making sure that I'm making the right decision for them too. Just, clearing my head, being in my own space so I can think better.
Hang on 1 second. I got to give a couple more people in recording.
More in for you, Kofi. Just when did you know for sure that you were going to come back to Illinois?
And I know for sure. Probably 2-3 days before I announced it. It took a while for me. Just going over everything with Coach Antigua, my mom, my brother, Coach Underwood, getting situated. Just making the ultimate decision. After I spoke to Ayo a week before I made my decision, and he basically gave me some good insight. He told me that it was a possible chance that he would come back, and that just gave me a way better idea of what I wanted to do after that.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Kofi, good to see you, man. What did you learn going through this process, just about the next level, and what did you learn about yourself?
Oh yeah, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot of things that I need to work on, coming back to the University of Illinois. But most importantly, I want to be a winner. So before everything else, before my individual improvement, me working on my jump shot, making sure I stay in great shape, making sure that I rebound at a high level. My main interest is basically winning. To come back, win a national championship with these guys, it's a great group of guys. I cherished every moment with them last year, and just that, the connection that I have with my team, it just gave me that oomph to say that it made my decision way better and way easier, So it's just about winning, man. It's coming back and solidifying my spot as a top program, getting better as a team and going out and improving the world around.
Kofi, I'm sure you hear it too, that you're kind of an old school big, that maybe you'd fit better in the 80s or 90s NBA game. What do you think about that, or what do you think you need to show people on the court skill-wise?
I really don't listen to that, to be honest. I know what I'm capable of. I know how I could dominate the game. I know I know basically, like I said, I know what I'm capable of. So I don't really listen to that. Obviously there's improvement. Nobody's perfect, So everybody, there's always improvements to be made. So I don't really worry about it. I don't stress it though. I know what kind of player I am. I'm gonna stick to my style. Obviously, I'm gonna work on the stuff, but I don't let it stress me.
Is there a certain guy at the NBA level you look at and say that's the kind of player I can be, or I can fit my game kind of how he does?
Yeah, I love Joel Embiid and love DeMarcus Cousins. Just their skill set, how they're capable to do everything. Basically, you can put them in whenever, wherever, So that's that skill set where be able to pass the ball, be able to shoot the jump shot, post up, play defense, block shots, do it all basically.
Thanks, Kofi.
Hey, Kofi. I know you did some training and stuff playing against some other people, while you were pursuing the NBA. How do you think that's going to make you come back even stronger this year, playing with some of these other guys?
the guys on my team.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we added some really, really good players. You know, Coleman Hawkins, really, really good player. He could stretch the floor a lot. Really great IQ, good passer. Same thing with Andre Cabela. I feel like he's a really, really good point guard. I've been watching him since my sophomore year of high school. I love him. I love his game. I played with him. So like Adam Miller, y'all all know what he does. He's a really, really high level player. Really good scorer. So like just adding these pieces, it just strengthens our team. You know, make us like we're really, really deep right now. Like you could put in whatever lineup and we'll really have a really like good like team. So like on the court, so like the additions are really, really good. I love them. They're hard workers and they're on the right track. I think that they work hard and they're dedicated. They're focused. We're all on the same page. So I think we're gonna do really good.
I got one more question for you. I know you were, weighing this decision coming back, but you've got a lot of talent on this team, a lot of size and everything. Was that one of the aspects that made you decide to come back? Was the fact of playing with these guys and, like you mentioned, wanting to play for a national championship?
Yeah, we definitely did. Adding these guys, it just like boost our chances of winning and boost our chances of being a really good program. And obviously, like I give that a lot of thought and just realizing what we're capable of, what we could do. With these additional guys, Ayo coming back, our veterans, we have a really good group of guys.
Thanks, Kofi.
Okay, we'll go to Nico next.
Hey, Kofi, I know that when we had talked to Ayo, he said that you guys didn't really, coordinate anything, but you said that you had spoke to him about a week before you guys made your decision. What was that conversation like in talking to him? Where was he kind of at the time? Where were you kind of at maybe going into that last conversation that you two had?
Yeah, so me and Ayo, we both had a go kind of mindset, like that we're basically going. That was our mindset, like entering the draft. So most of our conversation was just about like getting feedback from NBA teams, talking to each other about interviews, trying to like help each other out, like with questions, whatever it may be. But the last conversation we had, it was really, really more interesting because that's the conversation that when he was telling me basically there might be a chance that he comes back, and then he was like that's when the what if came in, like what if we both came back and stuff like that. So like that was really interesting to me when he told me that. So just basically, it gave me a whole bit of like understanding of things and like basically helping my decision because like if Ayo wasn't come back, it would have really, really like deterred my decision. So I would have probably thought about it more. But like him telling me that, it just like gave me a whole different understanding and like basically helped change my decision.
And what has the time been like since the decision was made from both of you in terms of maybe just an outreach that you've had from Illinois fans, some stuff that you've seen from some national college basketball guys that have really propelled Illinois into, arguably a top 10 team in the country now with your guys' return?
I mean, the way I see it, Illinois is a really, really good program. They have great coaches, and Coach Underwood, Coach Gentry, Coach Antigua, Coach Zeph, and so forth. So like, I feel like regardless of me returning, even if one of us return, if Ayo return, I think that the dedication and like the willpower that Coach Underwood has on us, and like we basically feed off his energy and like just his energy. Like I feel like regardless of who came back, we would have really, really been a good program. So like it's not even about us two returning or just one of us returning. It starts from the coaches, I think. And like when I came to the University of Illinois, I didn't expect any of this, and like just being here with them, learning from them on a day-to-day basis, watching them like how like emotional they are and how they push us. It's really incredible. So I feel like it's not even about the return of us. It's about the coaches and what they do, man. They do a really good job with getting dudes better, getting dudes to do the right things, and that's ultimately it.
Thanks, Kofi.
Okay, Marley, you're next, and then Joey, you're after Marley.
Hey, Kofi. I know there's been a lot going on with the NBA and the WNBA, and professional sports have kind of been at the forefront of this Black Lives Matter movement. And as someone who maybe sees yourself playing at that next level, do you feel like it's important for professional athletes and college athletes to use their platform to fight for some of these social changes?
Oh yeah, most definitely. That's definitely been in my thoughts since the first incident happened. So like like where I grew up in Jamaica, like I never really experienced it. I never experienced racism because like Jamaica is a really like cultural island. Like people come there to have fun. So I never really experienced it, but like coming here and witnessing it, seeing how like insane it is, like it's really important that we use our voice, and like especially since we have this platform where everybody's watching us and people look up to us and stuff. So like it's really important that we use our voice to get a message out there, whatever the message might be, you know, to spread positivity, encourage people to do the right thing. Like I think it's really important for real.
And what do you think just of the NBA deciding to boycott some of their games in response to the recent events?
I think that's really big because the NBA inspires a lot of kids, a lot of people, and I feel like if the NBA does that, then the kids are gonna really gravitate towards it. And when the kids do that, hopefully the parents might do it too. You know, like parents really love their kids, and they somehow like sometimes they try to do what's best for their kids, and they do what their kids like. If they see their kids interested in it, that probably help them to make a better decision and like look at it like more seriously. So I definitely think the NBA is doing a really good job.
Awesome. Thank you, Kofi.
Thank you.
Kofi, thanks for doing this. I guess we've seen so much happen over the course of the last months, and teams have had, you know, really in-depth conversations and real conversations. Can you share a little bit about just your guys' experience with maybe an open forum and just to be able to talk through everything since, you know, from March to now?
You mean pertaining to basketball or what's going on right now?
Just what's going on right now.
I think we spend a lot of time, you know, talking together as a team. We have Zoom calls and everything, so like we have times where Coach Underwood would like put us on a Zoom call and just have us like express our feelings, talk about what's going on, and I think that's really big because we get an opportunity. We're really diverse. We have players from all over the country, from different races. And I think that it's really big that Coach Underwood does that with us because we get to share like opinions and we get to understand each other better. So like you have somebody like Andre's he's from Puerto Rico. You have somebody like me from Jamaica, somebody like Georgie from Georgia. Like we have a totally different understanding of what's going on. And then just to listen to these guys that's been through it, you know, like that's experienced it, it's really big so we could get a better understanding and look at it from a different perspective, you know, empathize, put ourselves in each other's shoes and stuff like that. So it's really big that we get to like communicate on that.
Thanks, Kofi.
Joy, if you're done, we'll go to Derek Piper next.
Kofi, you wanted to focus on your development with your game. You improved so much from the time you got here last summer all the way up to being named Big Ten Freshman of the Year, working with Coach Antigua, working with Fletch. What do you think is the next step for you? How can you add to your game? I know you mentioned DeMarcus Cousins there. Is it stepping out and shooting the jumper? What do you kind of see next for you?
That's a part of it, you know, stepping out, shooting that jump shot like you said just now. But it's to me, it's all about maturity. I think last year I was a little bit inconsistent, you know, like I had games where I did really good and I had games that I did poorly. It's just about proving that I could dominate the game at a high level every night. So that's just my focus right now. Getting in great shape, you know. I'm a little bit more mature right now, so obviously my confidence have grown. So just going out there, do what I do best, you know, dominate the game on the glass, you know, finish at the rim, you know, have a great defensive presence, talk to my guys, communicate, be a leader. That's just it for me right now.
I know similar to Io, you had a lot of time to dedicate yourself, you know, just to your game leading up to the NBA, whether you're going to go or not. Have you felt like you've made any big strides and have shot some threes? You put that out on Instagram. What have you done to improve from March until now?
Yeah, I've been shooting a lot lately. You know, it's just about getting reps up. You know, make sure that you're getting shots in, making shots. So like right now, I feel really confident with my jump shots. So like last year, I was a little bit laid back because I was a freshman. It wasn't my place to just come out there shooting jump shots and stuff. Like now as a veteran, I could probably step out and take a couple. You know, so like I'm way more confident with my shot right now. Watching it go in, like working on it, shooting it a lot in practice, shooting it when I was back in New York. So that's definitely been like a huge step in my development. Just like being able to shoot the ball, making sure I get up a lot of shots.
Anything else, Derek?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay, we'll go to Paul Banks next, and then Brandon Simberg, you're on deck.
Hi, Kofi. Thanks for doing this.
Appreciate you.
My
question, I wanted to follow up on the topics that Marley raised and your Q&A there. You said in Jamaica you didn't really encounter racism and life was different. So like, how would you explain the differences between life here and life in Jamaica? And then my second question is, why do you think we're seeing everything now in sports leagues walking out, or specifically the NBA players using their voice and walking out?
Yeah, so I mean, it's totally different from back home. So like, back home growing up, like racism was not even like, it wasn't even in the picture. Like I see, like I come here now and I'm like, there are words that you can't say to a different race, stuff like that. Like back in Jamaica, like like it's a free country. Like everybody's happy, everybody loves each other. So like coming here and like witnessing all these things firsthand, it was really a game changer for me because I had to look at it from a different perspective. I couldn't be as outgoing as I am, you know. Obviously, I'm a really like fun person. I'm gonna make friends, but I can't be as outgoing as I am because I'm not back home in Jamaica. I have to really like be mindful of what I say to people and how I say it. So it's just like I just came in. I just saw how like especially like the black male, like how they're treated in America. Like it's a bunch of stuff going on, and I feel like the reason why all this is happening right now is because like it started from the pandemic basically, and like that was a really stressful time for people, and then that happened with George, and I felt like people just lost their mind, you know, they just lost their mind and started speaking out. They felt like they wanted to be heard, and that's big. You know, if you have a voice, you want to use it, by all means, you know. It was unjust what happened to my thing, from my perspective, and you know, I try to use my voice. I try to use my voice on Instagram, on Twitter, as much as I can, but like I feel like people are hurting, you know, like it's like put yourself in their shoes. Like what if that was happening to you or your family member? You know, you would want to speak out against it. You get what I'm saying? So like I feel like it's really big what people are doing right now. You know, putting this out there, trying to get like justice, trying to get like, you know, getting their voice out there.
I know a report said that the Clippers and Lakers voted not to play, but the rest of the league voted to play. But from what you've said, it sounds like we're going to see a lot more protest and a lot more walkout as the playoffs go on. Do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even though most of the teams didn't basically forfeit or decide to boycott the games, a lot of the players from each team are really speaking out against it. You know, they're really emotional about it, and they feel the pain. They feel the pain, and they're praying for the family members and all that. But like, I feel like we're definitely gonna see a lot more, you know, boycotting, players from the NBA speaking out against it, protesting in the future.
Thanks, Kofi.
Okay, we're going next to Brandon, and then Gabby, you're on deck.
All right. Hey, Kofi. What was the biggest thing NBA teams told you that you kind of needed to improve on this upcoming season?
Biggest thing, yeah, it was definitely consistency. Like I said before, last year I dominated some games. I played horrible some games. I feel like that was just like the freshman in me, you know, just making mistakes, going through as I play. I feel like now, like I said earlier, more mature, you know, more confident going out there. I've definitely been here for a whole year and stuff, so I've definitely seen some things. I know what's expected now of me. And I know what to expect when I go out on the court, so it should be way easier for me right now. Just continue putting in the work, you know, getting great shape, staying in great shape, you know, expanding my game, getting that jump shot, you know, running the floor, rebounding basketball. That's what bigs do in the NBA now. They rebound the ball at a high level. Having a great defensive presence, you know, like just talking on defense, altering shots, blocking shots, you know, edging, whatever it may be.
And then you talked about that freshman class. How do you think they're going to elevate you and help your game out?
Yeah, definitely a lot. These guys are coming in. They're really smart players. You know, they have great IQ. They have a great feel for the game. And Adam, Corbello, Coleman, even Brandon. He's a big guy, but he's a great IQ, a great feel for the game. And I feel like just being able to come in the game, you know, and have an impact on the game as a freshman, that's really important. Like I seen that last year, and these guys are capable of doing that. You know, they work hard. They're really good players. They're high-level players, and I think they're going to do big things for us.
Okay, after Gabby, you're up, and then we'll go to Kedrick on deck. Matthew, you're in the hole.
Hey, Kofi, I just wanted to jump back to your response to Paul's question. You had said something like you think Jamaica is a free country, and then you said like you didn't really feel the same about the United States. And obviously like the United States is considered one of like the freest countries in the world. So what does being a free country mean to you, I guess? Like what do you mean by like Jamaica was more of a free country to you?
Like basically like let's say one of these incidents what happened in Jamaica, like where injustice was happening or somebody felt like they were being treated wrong. I feel like Jamaica would have dealt with the situation way differently. You get what I'm saying? So like whenever something happens in Jamaica, something bad happens in Jamaica, I feel like the people on the whole, like everybody comes together and everybody like attacks that situation, try to fix it. You get what I'm saying? I don't think that's the case here. I think that a lot of people stand up for it and a lot of people talk about it, but nobody really makes a step to change things. So that's what I mean by free. Like in Jamaica, I feel like people are not offended by certain things. I mean, we never like dealt with like slavery or any of that. Like, you get what I'm saying? So like people are really not offended by certain things. We're really like we're just a happy country. You get what I'm saying? So we never really like experienced anything like that. Like any like all that violence. I mean, violence is everywhere, but like we never experienced hatred, racism, none of that.
Yeah, and you said or just going back to what you just said, like do you think obviously you like saying there's not really change, like a lot of people just protest and everything, but there's never really change here. Do you think like the younger generation, like obviously the generation you're in, do you think that can be the change to kind of start happening? Because I feel like we've been seeing that just with, younger NBA players, younger athletes, college athletes. Like, do you think your generation is the one to kind of progress that in the United States?
I feel like I don't think it's any like particular generation. I think it's everybody. You get what I'm saying? So like even the adults, the older generations, I feel like it's all about what you teach your kids. And like if you're raising your kid the right way, things are gonna change. You get what I'm saying? So like if I raise my kid to respect people, no matter what their gender, their color, their race, you get what I'm saying? So like if you teach your kids at a young age and raise them up right, that's where the change begins. So it's everybody, everybody that's making sure that they do the right thing, right from wrong, teach your kids, set a good example. So I think it's everybody, like a collective. It's just collective, every generation.
And then one more quick one. Do you feel like obviously having a larger platform now on social media like you do you feel the need to kind of put out there your opinion more, just show your support on social media? Because you have a ton of Illinois fans and a lot of younger ones too, or just college basketball fans in general, kind of looking up to you or looking at your Twitter, your Instagram is like, they're a fan of you. So do you feel like you have to do more of that now because of your platform?
Yeah, it's definitely a need to do it. A lot of people gravitate towards me. A lot of people respect me, and a lot of people follow me. So I think that I need to use my voice. Not everybody has a voice. You get what I'm saying? Like everybody has a voice, but not everybody has that platform where they could express themselves and be heard. So I definitely felt I need to speak out for all those people that don't have the opportunity that I have and have the platform that I have. So it's all about, like getting everybody on my page to see what's right, trying to convince them that, do the right thing, make sure that, you feel me, like you're not being unjust, make sure you're not being racist, make sure you're not, you get what I'm saying? So I definitely think it's really important that everybody that has a huge platform to use that platform and express how they feel and try to make a change.
All right, thanks, Kofi.
Okay, we're going to go to Kedrick now, and Matthew on deck. Gavin, you're on the hole.
Hey, Kofi, how you doing? Thanks for doing this for us. Quick question. I mean, you're able to come back this year, and, last year you were able to play against the Big Ten Player of the Year. And the second time around, you did much better. So can you talk to us about, like, what it's going to take for you to get to that step the way Luka Garza did at Iowa, and what you expect to do different this year?
Yeah, everything leads back to the same thing I said earlier. Luka Garza is a veteran. He's been there for 3 years, like 4 years now. It's his fourth year, but he's been there for 3 years, So he knows what to expect, and he knows what's expected of him. It's all about just being mature, making sure that you're basically being productive at all times. And that's what Luka Garza does. He's always moving. He's really physical, He's a veteran. He makes the game come to him. And that's what I need to do. I need to just let the game come to me, be physical, make sure I dominate the game at a high level every day, each and every day. So every day I step on the court, just make sure that I go out there with that mindset that I'm going to dominate this game somehow. Whether it's scoring, whether it's rebounding, whether it's blocking shots.
So when you're playing against him, I mean, I know he's an emotional kind of guy. I mean, does he ever say anything to you to kind of get you motivated? Because the last game in Champaign, you were a lot more vocal this time. Was that something that he says things to you, or just wasn't the competition or the rivalry itself that kind of got you more motivated the second time around playing against him?
I wouldn't say it's a rivalry. I respect every player, and I feel like every player is a rival. I look at every player as a rival, so I respect every player and go out there and try to give it my best every day. I think I learned from him. I think that was the best thing. I learned from him. I watched how he played the first game because I was in foul trouble a lot, so I sat on the bench and I really locked in and I focused in on his game, and I watched how he played. So it was just about going out there and making sure that he doesn't dominate the game the same way he did the last game, and make sure that I do the exact same thing that he does, which is rim run, post deep, make sure I keep my post, be physical with him, and all that stuff. So it was definitely just learning from him and just going out there and making sure that I limit his shots, and make him take bad shots, basically.
Thank you.
Okay, Matthew, you're up.
Kofi, thanks for doing this. I wanted to ask you about going back home. After spring got canceled and you were able to go home and see your family, and all that. What did that do for you mentally and emotionally? I know that you can kind of get isolated, while you're in college and not being able to see your loved ones as much as you want. Did that really give you kind of a perspective that you kind of needed and help you with your decision?
Yeah, it definitely did, man. Just going back there, just remembering what's really important in my life. I kind of lost track of that with all this basketball. Basketball could really get to you because you're playing it every day and you're doing it over and over again, the same things over and over again. So just going back home, remembering what's important, speaking with my family, spending time with my family members since the COVID, and I had a lot of time to spend with my family, talk to them, have fun, enjoy myself, become a youth again. And it was really important for me because that helped me to focus a lot more on making my decision and not just rushing to make a decision because, this is how I feel. Not leading away from the emotion and basically being tactical, thinking on things, making sure that I'm being smart, So it was just about listening to my mom. My mom, she really suggested that I come back for another year. She doesn't watch basketball that much. She just started watching basketball because of me, and then she started me, you need to go back for another year. I don't like this Corona thing. So I'm like, all right, Mom. Then my brother comes in, and he's been on my back since I was a kid. He always wanted me to play basketball. So just listening to him, being coachable, listening to him, learning from him, listening to Coach Antigua, Coach Underwood. They got feedback, they got connections with these guys, and just listening to them, making sure that I'm not rushing it. So it was definitely good going back home.
Last quick follow-up to that, Kofi, is what was the stay-at-home order like for you during COVID? I mean, were you nervous? Did you have any kind of emotions? I know people talk about mental health more maybe as much as, physical health with COVID. Did you have any of those kind of nerves or emotions while you were kind of stuck at home?
Not at all. I just accepted it. I accepted it for what it was. I knew that this is something that needs to be done. We need to quarantine so things will get better. Stayed at home with my family. I just looked at it as a way to just spend more time with my family, just like basically my day off, my time off. I just spent time with my family, played games, spoke to my mom, I had fun, cooked, whatever it was, obviously I had Fletch on me, make sure I do my workouts, make sure I do my in-house workouts, and that was big time for me. Just making sure I stay in shape, making sure that I'm having fun with my family, and basically just living.
And the last follow-up is just what you mentioned about your phone call with Io, that last one. Io was pretty keeping his cards close to the vest on what he was going to do. So how much did that phone call at the end of it kind of surprise you and kind of change your perspective on, wait a minute, this isn't the kind of answers I've been getting before, and could this really happen? Because I know a lot of Illini fans were going through that with, what are you going to do? What is Io going to do? And it seemed like that phone call even changed your perspective and gave you some surprise and made you rethink some things.
It really surprised me. At the beginning of it, I thought Io was 100% gone. I had no idea he would even return. So just hearing that, to be honest with you, even if I had a better draft stock, even if I had the opportunity to go really, really high, I still think I would have considered coming back with Io, just because of this kind of player that he is. High caliber player. He's a really, really good point guard. Just knowing that, if I come back with him, we're gonna have a really good season and we're gonna be a national contender. So even like regardless of my position, I think that if Iowa was coming back, I would definitely consider coming back like really huge.
Thanks, Kofi. I appreciate this.
Okay, Gavin, you're up, and then Robert Rosenthal, you're on deck.
Hey, Kofi, it's good to see you. Thanks for doing this and for your honest insight on everything. I wanted to ask you a little bit about like what it's like on campus right now, because you guys are all like sort of living together as a team, and I'm just wondering how you guys are kind of handling just walking around campus, because I would imagine people come up to you all the time and like try to say hey and stuff, and like what's that like kind of dealing with that in a pandemic, and as someone where hey, if I get infected, even if the chances are low, that has a lot of implications for the team.
I mean, I love it, man. I think we're really organized. I think the coaches and the staff did a really good job, with just getting us back here, quarantine, keeping us safe, making sure that we get checked up every day, 3 times a week. And even like you just said, like walking around on campus, we're forced to wear masks. Not forced, but it's like it's required for us to wear masks, and like just walking around. The kids on campus, they love the basketball team, they love the basketball program. So I feel like we have a great understanding of like our hey Kofi, but we can't be too close. You get what I'm saying? So if a kid comes over to give me a high five, I'm like, quarantine buddy, and he's like, oh yeah, I got you. So I feel like they're really understanding of the situation, and I love it, man. Walking around, they still show their support, but they show from a distance. And it's really lovely. I love what Illinois is doing as a program and as a school. The kids on campus get tested twice a week. They have the saliva testing at State Farm. They have a bunch of different locations, and they're doing a really good job with that. Like Coach Underwood said on his interview earlier this week, he said that some genius made an app that like basically you get tested and it tells you when you're around somebody that's positive. It tells you like if you're positive, if you got a negative test back. So that's really important for us, and it's just about staying safe, making sure that we follow protocol, making sure that we do the right thing, so we have a great year.
Thanks, Kobe.
Okay, Robert, you're up. Jim Matson, you're on deck.
Hey, Kofi, I'm curious about the current hurricane situation. I know Hurricane Laura didn't come close to Jamaica, but I know there was flooding and everything else. So just curious about any family, friends you have in Jamaica, if this has affected them at all or anything like that.
Not anybody that I know of, but I can say firsthand that hurricanes are really, really devastating. I've witnessed a couple of them in my time. I grew up in Jamaica. I witnessed probably 3 or 4 hurricanes since I was down there, and let me say, like, it's really devastating. It's really, really crazy what happened during that time. A lot of people lose their houses, a lot of people lose their property, a lot of people lose their lives, and like, I just want to like basically shout out to like all the people that had to deal with that. I'm praying for them, hoping that everybody's staying safe, because I know what it does. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, really important that everybody stays safe. Everybody gets prepared for these stuff, like hurricane storms. Get prepared for it. Make sure that you're staying safe, staying inside.
Yeah, that was going to be my follow-up, because I was curious if you were there during, Hurricane Sandy gets remembered as the hurricane that hit New York City here, but it started in the Gulf and went right over Jamaica as a hurricane. So I'm assuming you were there in 2012, and that I'm certain that affected you.
Yeah, growing up in Jamaica, I never grew up in a great home. I grew up in a great home, but never had the luxury, had the big houses, never had all that. So I definitely had to do my fair share of, like patching up, getting on the roof after the storm stops for a little bit, making sure that we're fixing everything, make sure everything is stable. So it's really a tough time when the hurricane comes, but it definitely gave me a chance to bond with my family. Like when you're experiencing that kind of stuff, you got to bond with family. You got to make sure everything is good in the house. You got to communicate. It really teaches you a lot about life. And if you look at it if you look at it from a right perspective, you can learn a lot from it. Growing up. So it definitely taught me a lot. How to stick with my family, how much teamwork is important, and all that. So yeah, it was definitely real.
All right, thanks, Kofi.
Okay, Jim Matson, you're up. Alec, you're on deck.
Hey, Kofi, you talked about Fletcher's workouts for you this summer. How has your body changed? How have you gotten bigger, stronger? Maybe what do you weigh right now?
Definitely gained 5 pounds. So I'm at 295 right now. But my body weight, I don't think my body weight changed at all. if any much, it's probably 1%, 2%. Fletcher did a really good job with us, man, just making sure that we're doing our workouts through this app called True Coach, where he can monitor it. We have to post videos. And I don't know if you guys saw it, but we were posting videos on Instagram, tagging each other in it, making sure that everybody's like motivated, everybody's doing the right thing. So it was really big time for Fletcher to do that for us and make sure that we're staying on the right path during the pandemic and quarantine. Make sure that we're staying in shape, you know.
Jeremy asked earlier about your game seems more old school, and you said you don't listen to critics at all. But do you think you could play in the NBA right now? And do you have any doubt you'll be an NBA player?
Yeah, I definitely think I can play in the NBA right now, and I definitely know that one day I will. Just because of my mindset, you know, I'm a hard worker, I'm a workaholic, I work really hard, and I'm dedicated, I'm coachable, I listen. So it's just about, you know, developing, becoming a better player each and every day. And I think that with my size and physicality, it's really rare. So, like, regardless, I think that I have a really good shot of making the NBA. It's just about staying there, you know. So it's about, like, making sure that I keep the right mindset, make sure that I'm learning, I'm growing every day, becoming better. But I definitely think that I'm prepared for it.
Real quick, if Illinois were playing a basketball game tonight, would you shoot a three-pointer? Would you have the green light to go out there and shoot threes from Coach Underwood?
I wouldn't say the green light. I don't need the green light. I really just, I think, like, if I'm needed, if Coach Underwood needs me to make a three and needs me to hit a three in that situation, I definitely think over the course of games I would definitely be shooting threes. But I don't think that's not my goal to go out there every day and shoot a three-pointer. You get what I'm saying? So it's just about necessity. If Coach Underwood needs me to make a three, I'll definitely go out there and knock it down for him. But as of right now, I'm just making sure that I'm capable of doing it. You know what I'm saying? Just making sure that I'm capable of doing it, making sure that I have that in my repertoire.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Alec, you're up. Scott, Beatty, you're on deck.
Hey, Kofi. Thanks for doing this. Just wanted to follow up a little bit on the social justice. Being someone who doesn't understand what you go through, if you could say something to white America or the people who may be oppressing you guys, what would your kind of message be to those people?
Everything, like, the biggest thing right now is just empathy, man. I know that even, like, most people say they basically say that, yo, this is an excuse. I've never been through it. I don't know what it feels like. You could always put yourself in somebody else's shoes. You get what I'm saying? I do it a lot. You know, I see the homeless people, and I basically tell myself, like, what would I want somebody to do if I was homeless? You get what I'm saying? So empathy is a really big thing. We could use it as a tool for everybody. Everybody could use it. Everybody could empathize and put themselves in somebody else's shoes and, like, understand how that person feel. And if somebody decides to say that they can't do that, I think it's really ignorant. Because, like, I feel like everybody's capable of doing that. It's, like, basically, like, just empathizing, you know, trying to feel what other people feel. You get what I'm saying? And trying to, like, I mean, everybody knows what's right from wrong. So I don't understand, like, I feel like we all could agree that racism is a nasty thing. So why doesn't everybody else feel the same way? You get what I'm saying? So it's just about, like, just putting yourself in somebody else's shoes.
And then one follow-up along those lines. You know, since you've moved to Champaign, I'm sure it's a lot different than it is in New York. Have you seen a different experience since you've moved to the Midwest, maybe than from when you were in New York or even Jamaica, of course?
Definitely. I mean, it's not even about racism at that point. It's just about, like, it's about attitude, you know? In New York, you have a lot of people, like, I guess everybody has their own problems, you know? People are fast-paced, you know, everybody has their own situation. But coming to Champaign, it's really, really different here. You know, it's a lot of love here. Everybody has a smile on their face. Everybody's just happy. You know, it's a different vibe here. So it's definitely it leads in comparison to New York, in, like, personality wise, and it's like showing appreciation, showing love.
Thanks, Kofi. I appreciate it.
Okay, Scott Beatty, you're up, and then Joey, your follow-up will finish us off.
Kofi, I appreciate your time here. I know this is longer than you usually go, so I really appreciate what you're doing here. Hey, I'll shift back to basketball. Read that Coach Underwood is been studying Milwaukee Bucks and Virginia and some old Florida teams, especially when it comes to defense. Are you expecting new wrinkles defensively, especially for how you'll be used in the defensive schemes, or maybe even large changes like we saw last year compared to the year before?
To be honest, I'm not really expecting anything. Like I said earlier, whatever Coach Underwood needs me to do, I'm definitely going to step up and do it. So if he decides that he wants to change the defense, that's fine with me. I'll adjust to it. I'll do whatever needs to be done. If he decides to stay with it, that's fine. We did a really good job defensively last year, I think. And it's just about like being more vocal, you know, communicating, making sure that everybody's in the right spot, everybody's doing the right thing, and everybody's aware, you know, in every situation. So regardless of what Coach Underwood does, I'll be ready for it.
Sounds like then thus far, if there are new things that are yet to come, it's not been something you guys have looked at yet.
Not yet.
My other question is the talk about college basketball right now is bubbles. Your thoughts on playing in that kind of environment, at least temporarily, or maybe for however they're going to do it for however long?
Hey man, it's gonna really tell a lot about who's playing for the right reasons. You know, I love basketball. I play basketball because I love it. So if you put me in a bubble, doesn't matter where you put me, I'm gonna play the I'm gonna play the game. I'm gonna play the game the right way. So it's gonna definitely expose a lot of people. You know, who's playing for the right reasons. And I think that my group of guys, my team, we're prepared for any situation right now because all of my guys love basketball. We love playing the game, you know. I could tell by the way we go out there, we practice every day. We're really determined. We want to get better. So I think that we're really prepared. And let's say two guys don't want to play, like, are not motivated to play. I know that everybody else is definitely motivated. So I think we're going to be good. I don't know about anybody else, but we're definitely going to be good.
Okay, Joey Wagner, back to you, and then this is our last question.
Hey, Kofi, you said when you went back to back home to see your family, you said your mom didn't really follow a lot of basketball before you started playing. So I'm assuming you had people, you know, on your team that you talked with from basketball perspectives and what would be the best for you. What was your mom's role? What I'm sure she had maybe motherly advice, but what did she kind of impart with you? What did you look to her to help you with in this process?
So my mom, she's a really talkative person. She hasn't seen me for a while, so obviously she was trying to get to understand what's happening better. As I was explaining to her about the pandemic, like not being able, I expected her to I was explaining like the combine process, you know, how important that was, how important the NCAA tournament was. So like just explaining all that to her and like giving her a better understanding of what's happening and how things could turn out and how things should have turned out. She really like just listened to me, you know, and thought about it. And I think that her argument was definitely valid. You know, she was on the right page. She was on the same page as me. So she was definitely thinking the same way. So she basically explained to me that, yo, if you had a combine and if you had an NCAA tournament, I would probably be telling you to go. But you told me you didn't have those stuff and that you didn't have the chance to like prove what you guys could do, you know. Coach Underwood and them did a really good job with me. And returning, it couldn't get any worse. You know, they're really good coaches. And I could only get better. So she was explaining that to me and stuff like that. That's giving me motherly advices.
Thank you, Kofi.
Thank you.
All right, that'll wrap us up. Thank you, everybody, for spending an hour with Kofi. We appreciate it. And thanks for joining us. I'm going to close this off now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kofi.
Thanks, Kofi.
Thanks, Kofi.